I'm not saying to you do either one. I'm just presenting the consequences and the results and also giving you solutions, right? Infidelity while married, guys, has spiritual consequences if you leave it unresolved, especially if the person is pregnant. So if you are sleeping with a married man or a married woman, especially if that person is married spiritually in terms of or they've done the traditional wedding, what you are doing is you are disrupting a spiritual bond. So people that sleep with married people, they're like, no, I'm not the one breaking my vows. They are. Yeah, no, sure, you're right. You're not breaking vows. But what you are doing is you are tainting yourself spiritually, because that person disrespecting the spiritual bond that has been created and coming to sleep with you, okay, what that does, right, is it dirties you and then purifies you. Now wena unalento ukuthi walala nomuntu oshadile. And I have a few clients that say to me, yeah, but I keep attracting married women. I keep attracting married men. It's because the first time you slept with someone who was married, right? That type of isnyam is now in you. So now the only kind of person or the people that you're going to attract are going to be married men and married women looking to have affairs, because spiritually they can see that you have that affinity for them. Emphasis on the word affinity. Whatever you expose yourself to spiritually, you then develop the affinity for it. So if you're going to have a one-night stand or 2 nights or a fling or whatever with a married man or woman, you are now creating the affinity for yourself for married men or married women. Hence, you're going to see, you're going to get to that point where you're only attracted, or you're only attracting married men, married women. Granted, Bagwits, I understand. People lie and they don't tell you who they are married. In that event, hambiyogeza. In the relationship, and then hambiyogeza. I'm going to speak to Dr. Mkiza this afternoon. We are looking at this kind of cleansing and how we can make it a bit more mobile and accessible. We'll release more details after in a day or so. So cheating while the ex-wife is pregnant, or she is pregnant with the husband's baby, and if you are with them, you're spiritually affected. So in other words, if I'm sleeping with a married woman or a woman who is not married but she's pregnant with another man's child, that affects me, and then that will inevitably affect my child that I have one day. So what I'm saying to you is that, and if I was a woman and I was pregnant with this man's child, and then I go and I cheat on another woman with another man, right? Then what happens is that child is also then going to be affected. And the man that I'm sleeping with, he is also going to be affected, and his children are going to be affected. So do you see how everything is interlinked and that it affects both men and women equally? Forget that notion that, no, because I'm a man, it's different. No, it's not different. If as a man that is single, I go and I have an affair with a pregnant woman who's carrying a child that is not mine, ngileta isnyama, or that type of isnyama, to myself, right? And then I go and I sleep with another woman, or I start dating someone that I'm serious with. If and she is pure and clean, I'm bringing lesos nyama and I'm infecting her. I have a child with her, my child is also going to be affected. Yabo? So, and then finally, I'm going to take the question now, Yenziweng Yabo. And then finally, having children outside of marriage or being impregnated by someone other than the husband, and if you are with them, that will be spiritually infected as well. And I want to speak to you guys that, guys, people get divorced, they remarry, and they move on. Laba bafuna ukudila izimizi yabantu ngetina and everything, whatever you want to call it, right? What you know, they're not living together anymore, they divorced, I'm just a side. Fine, right? In the event, you need to find out why that couple separated. If the man had children outside and did not clean umuzwa, and then when you are interacting with that man, you pick up leso snyama. Okwesibili, if when you are with that woman, kanti that woman The reason that marriage fell apart is that she was impregnated by another man while she was still married traditionally to that man, right? It affects you. And that will go and affect your children if you have left it uncleansed. So, guys, I want us to understand that the past of the, so do not think, Uguti, no, just because that woman or that man I'm choosing to be with, the past of his relationship or his past relationships do not impact you. No, the past relationships of the person you are choosing to be with should always be either red flags, blue flags, green flags. Green is go. Is it a red flag? Green flag. Red flag, green flag. If he says, I lost a child, red flag, bad guess, green flag. Or my wife cheated, red, or I cheated, fine, not a problem, red flag. Green flag. So you're constantly doing the whole red flag, green flag, red flag, green flag. You're not judging them on their past. You are seeing, did they hold themselves accountable to the mistakes that they made? That's the only thing I'm saying, guys. Accountability. And I said this in my video on Instagram on Friday. There was a level of accountability that was acquired with spiritual treatment. I am not saying to you that judge people on their past. No, I'm saying, are you holding them accountable? Are they being responsible adults by choosing to resolve those issues spiritually and actually deal with them so that they are not affected and you are not affected, so that you and him or you and her can have a nice clean slate spiritually and a bright, prosperous future? Let's take some questions over here. Yenziwe has this question here. What causes a woman to always be persuaded by married men when she has never dated or slept with a married man? These men always propose being a second wife. How can this be fixed? Okay, Yenziwe, I must say most of the time, or sometimes, I can't actually give a statistic. Sometimes you may not have known that man that you were with at the time was married. He may have not told you. Sometimes men are really good at hiding that. That's the first thing. Second of all, what you need to do is right? Geza nje, start off with a clean slate, right? Because sometimes you don't know, because how do I put it? If you've been with a man, that man may have not been married, but that man may have been with a married woman before you. Does that make sense? So in other words, if you are with a man and that man's fine, he's not married, but he's picked up isnyama from someone else because he had an affair with a married woman and now he's passed it on to you. So that's how, so you're a bit of a third party to the kind of isnyama infection. I hope that makes sense. That's how it usually is. The best way to fix this is into ukugeza. But what I was actually speaking to Dr. Mkhize about this morning is that, like, some people can't travel to Iskojo ukugeza. So we're trying to devise a way, how we can make it more mobile, more accessible. Okay, is it then safe to say that after every relationship ends, one needs to be cleansed, especially if there was intimacy? Guys, if not after every relationship, after every intimacy, and after every living period with someone. So if you've had a roommate, right, there's a degree of intimacy because you share the space, you share food, cutlery and whatnot. So if, let's say, you've lived with someone for 2 years, now you're moving out and you're getting your own place, geza. Before moving into that place, geza. And then ushunglese in the home, making sure it's clean as well. After every intimacy, so even if it was a one-night stand or it was a fling, hambi okeza. After every relationship, hambi okeza. If you're sexually active and one night stands are your thing, then maybe every month, every 2-3 months, you are geza regularly. Okay, I don't see any more questions. Let's keep on going on. So, transfer of isinyama, right? Transfer of isinyama.